Hey everybody, it's Rob here, bringing you the Upheaval Barbarian. Right now, I have 21 ranks in my Upheaval. And there is a lot of buffs coming next season to the Upheaval buff. There's a new Unique, and there's also the new Uberstone coming, actually buffing Upheaval to rank 25 next season. So this is going to be amazing. It's still a very strong build, guys. And HotA, as many of you may have seen, is getting a nerf. And this build here is getting buffs. So it's going to be a very strong build here. And we're going to be playing like a very similar setup to what the HotA Barb is playing. But we're going to add charge to the build. So we can weapon switch very easily. Keep our edge master, our weapon switches with Earth Striker up. And also get a crazy amount of stacks on Upheaval itself. And we're using charge to basically become unstoppable for a second. So we use charge and you see we get unstoppable for 1 second. And we're also generating, let me use this, and we're also generating a bunch of fury. And charge is also doing a double hit on the enemies. It allows us to get the stacks of Furious Upheaval instantly, even on 3 enemies. Like single target would be 2, every enemy gives you 2 stacks. So you can just boom, like instantly get some good damage buff, damage output. And yeah, we are hitting here in the billions. We still have TOB on, but they're gonna nerf, the TOB is gonna be gone. But we're still gonna be hitting in the triple hundreds of million. And there is a new item, which is called the Aspect of Sundered Ground. So I think this one fits thematically really well with the Hellhammer that we're using here. I actually got a perfect one. So this is where the crazy ranks from Upheaval are coming from. And again, we're actually getting another, I'll get a planner in the description, another 4 ranks from Evernight here for a total of 25 ranks. And we are basically using the Upheaval Charge variant because Charge is going to get a cooldown reduction now to just generate insane amount of resources because Talbot's Will always gets us resources whenever we get unstoppable. And with Perma Charge and the cooldown, we can just boom, and now we would have it again because we charged enough targets, and we could just get infinite resources like that, basically. It's gonna be a pretty crazy synergy. It's basically Metamorphosis is gone, but we are getting infinite charges, hopefully. We'll have to see when the patch hits, but most likely this is gonna be the case, and it's just gonna be real strong. I'm really looking forward to that. So the thing that they are buffing is the Sundered Ground, which basically makes Upheaval overpower every 25 seconds. We already have like 4 different sources of overpower. This is our 5th source of overpower. And this timer can also be reduced by 4 seconds for every elite we hit with an overpower. And we overpower a lot, and I think this cooldown, we can actually get it down to 0 seconds. And we will be overpowering every hit in combination with our Banished Lord Talisman, in combination with our Earth Striker, and in particular in combination with our Bonebreaker that we took back every 12 seconds overpower. So we have we also have Dominate, which is our 5th source of overpower. So it's going pretty crazy. We have lots of overpower sources, and it's going to reduce the cooldown of the next overpower for Sundered Ground even more, and it's also giving us 20% more damage. So this is a huge buff in general for the build. And yeah, let's get into the full overview. So starting with the stones here, take this with a grain of salt because we have not tested this, but I'm playing the Gurate. This is the Whirlwind stone. I'm hoping this has a big area of effect. We're getting the Evernight for 4 ranks to all skills. Again, 25 ranks to Upheaval we will have. Safeguard for toughness. You can also play Fortify. We will see if it's necessary. And resource support for more resources. And then we are playing Tempest here, similar to the Barber. I hope this is going to do damage. If not, we're going to use another one that just buffs ourselves, but for now we are playing damage here, support, cooldown reduction just for insane procs in AoE. But we'll see. I'm going to keep this planner that is going to be in the description updated after we have more information and after we have play tested this. But yeah, and then it's pretty standard. I have an Uber and a non-Uber version here, so it always goes. Harlequin's Crest is the best helm in the game. For a Barb. If you don't have it, you can use Tusk Helm. Obviously, in the start of the season, nobody will have this. Works either way. Then we have Disobedience. This one ensures our armor caps. And what's the cool thing about it, it's very easy for us to maintain this because We just use Upheaval once, and you see the ground is burning and these guys are bleeding. So we're just like having the buff permanently, basically. As long as we keep using Upheaval, so they're burning and we're getting stacks, which is pretty powerful. Good damage reduction. Then we have Sun on Ground. We already talked about it. This is the new aspect. Really strong. More overpowers, more damage. That's exactly what we want. Then we're using Talbot's Will with charge. The combination is insane. Infinite resources, basically, as long as we're keeping the charge cooldown. And again, guys, they are changing the charge to basically just refresh whenever we hit monsters, and it's going to refresh by 6 seconds when we hit a boss. Insane stuff. And then we have the Ghost Walker for more movement speed. We don't need berserking. I think the charge is going to give us enough berserking in general, because we use Battle Fever, and whenever we use a brawling skill, we get more berserking. Really strong. Easy to maintain berserking. And then we have the Hellhammer. This is the unique weapon that you need for this build. I mean, you don't necessarily need it, but it's definitely the best, and you can play this build. It's a very strong leveling build as well. I have a leveling full overview here too. I'm gonna make a dedicated leveling guide probably later today or tomorrow, and Upheaval is one of the strongest if you combine it with charged leveling builds. So we'll get into that in a separate video. But yeah, just keep in mind, guys, this is going to be a very strong leveling build as well. Then we have Earth Striker, so we can switch weapons, more DPS. Grandfather, obviously, if you don't have Grandfather, it's okay to push Limitless Rage on a two-hander, and then just add Edgemaster on the one-hander here. And in the main setup, we don't have Edgemaster right now, because we prefer Limitless Rage, but Edgemaster goes as well. It depends a bit on how much Fury this resource support is going to generate us. But yeah, Edgemaster is the alternative here in comparison. Whatever you want to do. And then we have the Red Furor, and this is why we use Whirlwind as well. Not only for Earth Strikers, so we are switching weapons. We are dual wielding on Whirlwind, we are using a Grandfather on Charge, and we are using Bludgeoning on Upheaval. So we have actually a triple weapon switch, and it basically allows us every rotation to get the Red Furor bonus. You can see here, we always have the Red Furor bonus. Because we are using Whirlwind, and Whirlwind is also costing us 50 Fury per second, and then we get 80 Fury, and 50 plus 80 is a lot more than 100, which we need to activate Furor. So every hit is a crit, very insane. And then we have Bold Chieftain to reduce our shout cooldowns, and we have the new Martial Glyph in our Paragon. And what this will achieve, it's going to reduce the cooldown of our charge in case we miss some enemies, and it's going to reduce the cooldown whenever we cast our shouts of our Wrath of the Berserk, which gives us double damage multiplier and also perma berserking. Pretty insane stuff, very crazy synergy here. Then we have the Banished Lord Talisman, so we are guaranteed to overpower and we are guaranteed to crit basically almost every hit. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. 2.2x DPS, rank to all core skills, crit chance, overpower damage, and resource generation. Insane stats. And definitely the best amulet for this build. Yeah, then gems, we're rocking red gems, rubies, life, overpower, and resistance. It's important you have 2 resistant rolls here, and then you use different color of resistance to max your stuff. But I always like to have lightning and like poison, I guess. Like shadow, I think, is the least important. But you definitely want to have fire and lightning max, but you usually have fire as implicit on your Red Furor because you can't change that. So lightning is definitely a must-have, I feel, on the boots to just have it maxed. Yeah, then this is the skills that we blast. X expertise together with our bludgeoning weapon on Upheaval, which is really important because it's triggering like Wallop and other passives. So definitely want to use a bludgeoning weapon. Then we come to the skill tree, just 2 points in anything, lunging strike here. Then we have 3 points in WW. Again, WW, Whirlwind cannot overpower, so it's a really cool synergy with Upheaval. You have to be a little careful because your charge is your support. It can overpower, so at least it can overpower with Earth Striker. It won't overpower the Sundered aspect, and it also won't overpower your Banished Lords because that is guaranteed only for core skills. But you still want to be a bit careful with your Earth Striker stacks, and when you have 7 or 8, like not cast charge, right? Like you do it like this, and now you know next hit is going to overpower, so probably don't want to use the charge there. Just something to keep in mind there. But anyways, charge is like really good for the Talbot's Will. So then we have Rallying Cry, some life here, again 1 point here for bleed. Bleed is still very good, and if any enemy attacks us and it lives longer than a second, we're gonna take reduced damage from it because we have a lot of bleed damage bonuses and a lot of bleed damage reduction in the board up here. So this one really helps us out a lot. More damage reduction is always welcome. Yeah, then we're rocking the triple heavy-handed Warlord Brute Force, really good. The weapon switches, the Fury, the healing, Wrath of the Berserk, close damage. Again, you don't necessarily need to take this, but mostly even Upheaval has medium range. You can technically attack from here, but I still find myself just in the middle of the monsters, basically. So I feel this has still a lot of value to have, basically. So that's always really good, and definitely want to keep that. Then counter-offensive, because we always fortify, and Unbridled Rage. This has a crazy synergy, more DPS, more Fury spent, and more Fury spent gives us healing. It gives us the red for roar stacks, and it gives us, in our Paragon board, it gives us Fortify from Warbringer. Really important. We're rocking Exploit here because we don't have the Prayer of the Weak anymore. Vampiric powers are gone. We need a Source of Vulnerable. So in 3 seconds, every enemy should be dead, and that's why we have the Exploit. Then we're rocking Warbringer here for the Fortify, Crusher for the Overpower, X multiplier. We don't need the extra resources. I think having this node here is still very important, especially in speedruns, because it gives you Fury on kill, which is multiplied with all your resource generation. So this one basically gives you 5 Fury for every monster you kill, and you also have another like 2 Fury here or something, because you can around double it. Pretty good. And then here, this is the old TOB board. We now put Ira in here, because it has a lot of main stat, actually. I might populate this a bit more, but we had to give up some points in order to get in Bonebreaker on top of all this. Like, this is the entire board. We have Bonebreaker as well. And up here we have Blood Rage with a bunch of berserking nodes. Actually, this is a slight upgrade, right? Oh, maybe not. It's 4 points. Okay. So yeah, it's already pretty optimized, I think. Maybe I'll change like 1 point here or there. But yeah, really strong. So Blood Rage for the berserking damage, Bonebreaker, Overpower. Down here we have the Weapon Master for Fury when we weapon switch. This one also gives us all res and armor, like pretty strong stuff. And then we have Decimator, and finally we can play Dominate again because we get +1 glyph. So we can play Dominate and we get a bunch of Overpower bonuses here, plus the Decimator. Basically skyrocketing the damage of this build into craziness. And yeah, that's the build, guys. It's very strong. They buffed it a lot. They nerfed HotA a bit and they buffed Upheaval, so I think HotA still has a slight edge, but like depending on which multipliers I find, let's say I get a Hellhammer early on, I'm definitely going to rock Upheaval here for a bit, and we'll see how it's going to perform. I think it's just theory crafting, looking at the numbers, it seems really strong baseline, and yeah, give it a shot, my friends. Really good. And this is also one of the builds that you play while you level. So I'm going to have a leveling build coming up, but Upheaval statistically has been super strong for leveling, and I think it really is still super strong. And I can't wait to try this out again. Like, we will do a lot of testing, and we have a separate leveling guide coming up for you. But yeah, Barb is rocking. HotA, Charge, and Upheaval are really strong builds this season, and we're gonna be smashing, we're gonna be blasting. I still wish that the Upheaval, you know, animation here would be a little faster in general, but it's not all too bad. Like, it's fine, especially if you stack some attack speed. There is some alternatives in the gear that you can do with like accelerating and stuff instead of limitless rage, for example, because we will be losing Ravenous, so maybe accelerating will be needed. But we'll see how all that is gonna turn out. It's definitely cool to have a bunch of options and to know like what options you have. And if you have so many different options, it just adds, like, you know, so much creativity and such a cool diversity to the game, to the top builds. Not everybody's playing the same in the start, and it's gonna require like basically the community coming together again and figuring out the best builds that we have here for season, for the leaderboards, for the gauntlets that are coming soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I have a lot more content coming. Take care, my friends. Good luck in your season. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.